It's me giving out like cow driving by here. What the hell? They look nice. They're like, hey, this is not something you can't say. They're not getting out.
We are underway. Harbor Green 03 versus FWFC 03. Be keeping score and commentary on Team Snap, as well as yapping at you here on the live stream. So here we go. Federal away with the ball in deep, rolls out for a goal kick. Harbor. Goal kick Caitlin, played out, rebound back to Avalanche. She knocks it up to midfield. Federal away drives the ball in, handled easily by Caitlin. Caitlin with a high looping bomb out past midfield. Hops off the head of a Federal Way defender. Federal Way with possession. Knocks it into center midfield. Moves it up wide, outside right. Ball in the 18. Federal Way with a shot. Low. Weak, easily handled by Caitlin.
Make sure you cover each other in the back, right?
Another high looping ball here on this side.
Gotta get up, Reese. Come on, let's get that.
Possession Federal Way.
Come on.
Good, Sid. Good. Nice jump, Sid. Go, Cat. Go, Cat.
On in, Sid.
Harbor with the ball, Alicia out on the far sideline. Makes a move. Ball gets knocked back. Federal Way gains possession. The long running ball up. Federal Way called offsides.
Hey, quicker decisions.
So Kayla, be ready to deal with it off of bounce too, right? It's kind of hard to deal with it in the sun, so if it's off of bounce, that's okay too.
Be a Harbor free kick on the far side.
All the way out here. All the way. Keep coming.
About 38 yards out. Megan to take. Right-footed low into the middle. Played to the foot of Reese. Reese loses possession to Federal Way. Federal Way knocks the ball forward. A foot race. Shuin defending for Harbor. Long ball in. Should be easily handled by Caitlin.
You're in front of her and you're allowed to nick it in front of you.
Great
Come on.
pass, Kayla. Way to start the attack.
Early ball
Have another goal kick. Or sorry, punt by Caitlin. Short. Off Federal Way out to Cat. Cat settles it, knocks it forward, looking for Reese.
How do we support? How do we support?
Handled by Federal Way.
Yes, Kylie. Great movement, Kylie.
Ball played back in. Sydney settles it, knocks it out to Cat. Cat knocks it up to Hannah, just a little bit off her foot. It's going to run out of bounds for a Federal Way throw. Federal Way inbound throw, high off the shoulder, drops into the middle. Ball's running in.
Come out! Caitlin! Come out!
Caitlin hesitated in net, didn't come out to challenge that ball. Probably should have been an easy handle at the top of the 18. Gets played out of bounds by Harbor defense. Federal Way throw in. Avalon heads the ball. Plays out to the sideline and out for a Federal Way throw again, deep in Harbor territory. Ball inbound clean. Back through the 18. Sydney chips it forward. Reese running on with possession. And a challenge. Pulls up, plays it back to Cat. Cat settles it, knocks it up to Sydney. Sydney allows the ball to play through on a nice dummy. Looking to do something with it. She turns, centers herself, moves it out wide to the near sideline to Cat. Cat looking across the ball, does into the 18.
We need better pressure on the ball.
Harbor unable to do anything with it.
That's fine.
Ball knocked out by Federal Way. Out to midfield.
Stay outside.
Kylie working in defense. Ball knocked out wide. Federal Way working to maintain possession out wide.
Take your time.
Let's not give it away, Chief.
Alicia challenging. Kylie knocks the ball back forward off of Federal Way's inbound kick. Should be an offsides call. Federal Way at the top of the 18.
Kylie, relax. There's no need for you to be whacking it. Put your foot on it. Bring it out with you. Have a look around. You've no awareness where you are. There is no need to be whacking that last ball.
Kylie, left shoulder. Otto, organize. You should be screening Otto. You got to talk to her.
Caitlin's punt. Up the middle of the field, center.
Okay.
Out of bounds for a Federal Way throw on the far sideline near midfield.
Otto, play a true 6 today.
Inbound throw down the side. Federal Way flicks it on. Plays it up in. Caitlin to come out. Challenge that for hands. Handles the ball near the top of the 18 on the left side.
Be aggressive in your channel, okay, Sid? Be aggressive. You can't win balls if you won't go press.
Punt. High looping. Short of midfield. Headed through by Sydney. Up to Brooke. Brooke chests it out to Alicia. Alicia looks to knock it back into Reese, but it's intercepted by Federal Way defense. Now Federal Way possessing. Moving a ball forward, long through. Caitlin handles top of the 18.
Perla, go right. Sammy, come left.
Caitlin with a low top spinning punt.
Good, excellent. That's
Headed by Federal Way. Possession Federal Way. Long ball through. It's going to be dangerous. Caitlin down.
Good job, Caitlin.
Comes out, challenges the ball, handles fine.
56 and organized. Kylie, drop.
Caitlin's punt coming near sideline. Kat works to hold it in. Knocks it into Sydney off her chest. To Federal Way defense. Federal Way plays it long through where Avalon takes. Avalon tries to get up to Hannah. Loses possession to Federal Way.
Right, drop. She went inside. She went inside.
Federal Way knocks the ball in long. It's going to run out for a free kick. I'm sorry, a goal kick.
You've got to defend quicker there and let Shea Wing get in.
A little better final ball there. A little less weight on it so we can get on the end. Kylie, drop in. You got to help right there, early. Auto screen. I don't want the 9 or 10 getting on the ball. Kylie, you drop it.
Just shy of 7.5 minutes into the first half. The score is 0-0. No scoring opportunities as of yet. Caitlin's goal kick up into the middle where it's battled for and won by Alicia. Alicia moving the ball forward with pressure behind.
Yes, Kylie. Thank you, Kylie. Well done.
Goalkeeper was way out.
Come on, Sammy.
Coach looking to get her to take a shot at it. Harbor loses possession. Federal Way now. Midfield working the ball out on the far sideline.
Shove for her. Come on, you got to work for her there.
Ball in by Federal Way. Played out heavy by Kylie. Megan steps up, the right-footed, misses a little wide on her foot. Reese with a head at midfield.
Yes, Kylie, again. Yes.
Federal Way working pressure up the near side.
Get in, Perla.
Good, Kylie.
Up and battle. Battle. Come on, battle, Perla.
Ball batted around the 18 frequently. Harbor finally gets it out. Federal Way now working possession again.
Good.
Federal Way knocks it back to their defense, and defense knocks it back into the midfield.
There it is.
Looking to work the ball up again. Megan steps in and intercepts, and now Megan's on a break up the far sideline.
Perla, work to get on
Plays
mark,
it too
Perla.
far off her foot. It's taken away by the Federal Way defense, and now Federal Way looking to move in again.
Get in, Ty. We just gotta
Caitlin
get
comes
the
out,
line,
handles the ball to
come.
15
Organize,
with
you gotta
pressure
hold in
by
there,
Federal
sometimes it
Way.
gets back, Otto.
Caitlin's punt. Another high looping bomb this time.
Good, Kayla.
Sells a good 12, 13 yards past midfield. Reese chests it down to Sydney, and now Sydney working possession out to Kat. Kat back to Sydney on a nice tic-tac-toe play. Knocks it into Brooke.
Use your left there, Sid.
Brooke plays it back into the middle, and now Kat with possession out on the sideline. Looks to knock it back. Hannah now with the ball. She tucks, tries to center across the ball. It deflects off a Federal Way foot. Kylie plays it forward, Federal Way. And Sydney now in a battle. Sydney wins possession, knocks it out wide to Kat. Cat tucks it back into the middle, looking to play it forward, gets it up to Reese. Reese off the inside of 1 foot to the other. And now up and in, and Brooke is off sides on the play with an opportunity. Free kick, Federal Way, just north of the 18, center of the field.
Step up!
Very good start, Blue. You gotta continue.
You're good here. That's better. Let's go.
Goalkeeper takes the free kick, plays it out. Hannah in a battle for possession, wins it, knocks it out wide to Megan, who came up on an overlap. She tries to get it back to Hannah, and Federal Way intercepts.
There we go.
Federal Way knocks it up outside on the far sideline. Kylie intercepts. Makes a nice play to try to get the ball up the sideline. I just saw off her foot out wide for a Federal Way throw.
Yeah, just sit that pocket, Otto. You're good.
A ball bounced over the fence and out to the adjacent field. We have a slight delay here, waiting for the ball to get shuttled back into the game.
But always an attacking mindset. That's good stuff.
Federal Way throw near midfield, far sideline, inbounds. Federal Way heads, knocks it further up the side where it looks like it's gonna play back. Kylie plays it on the foot, back to Caitlin. Caitlin fires it up the middle and nobody chases after it but Federal Way. Federal Way looks to put the ball in on frame but shoots it wide and it rolls out for a goal kick.
Good take, Otto. Way to step in. Hey, let's organize early. Otto, you can screen, right? Screen the strong side every time.
11.5 minutes into the first half. Score is 0-0. Goal kick flicked on by Sydney. Battle for possession on the far sideline near midfield. And ball is played out of bounds for a Federal Way throw.
Talk to her and let her know to let that out for a throw next time.
Federal Way inbound throw. Sydney plays it down off her head out to Alicia. Alicia knocks it forward, looking for Brooke. Intercepted by Federal Way, but now Reese in a heavy shoulder battle with possession of the ball, plays it out to Kat. Kat knocks it back forward. Brooke steps in, tries to knock the ball back to Reese. It gets intercepted by Federal Way, and now a long ball through. Gets batted around here a couple times, and Federal Way moving it up the far sideline again. Way out wide. Crosses the ball deep behind the goal. Out for a goal kick.
She's going this way. She's a center forward. Nick it in behind the defender, please. Reese, early with the passing. You're dribbling into where you originally then passed to, okay? Or eventually passed to.
Caitlin to take the goal kick. Fires it up the center. Hannah gets pushed through the back. Foul, Federal Way.
Drop in, Kat. Drop in, Kat.
Megan steps up to take it, knocks it up quick, looking for Kat, but plays it right to the Federal Way defense, where Reese steps in, knocks possession back into Harbor. Kat plays it into Sydney. Sydney across to Hannah, switching the ball laterally across the field. Hannah knocks it up wide to Alicia. Alicia settles, gets stripped of possession. Federal Way working. Foul. Harbor, foul Megan, free kick Federal Way.
Girls, understand restarts don't always have to be a big ball. Sometimes we can just start a counter by building.
Far side of the field, approximately 40 yards on Federal Way defensive zone.
Just relax, relax.
Long ball played through, knocked up long. Looks like this one's gonna run up and out for a goal kick, Harbor. Caitlin to take the goal kick on the far corner of her 6. Drives it into the middle where Sydney takes possession of the ball. Moves the ball across mid. Plays it out here to the near sideline to Kat. Kat looking to knock the ball right back into Sid. Sid knocks it back to the defense where it's intercepted by Federal Way. Federal Way now in possession. Zetterberg battling. Kicks the ball forward off a Federal Way foot and out for a Harbor throw on the near sideline. Shewin steps up for the throw. Inbound throw to Sydney. Sydney with possession. Federal Way kicks the ball around her behind. And Federal Way now possessing the ball, knocks it out wide, where Megan steps up with a head, plays it out wide, and it's going to run out for a throw. Federal Way on the far sideline.
Sid, that's much better, Sydney. Much better. Keep that up.
Inbound throw by Federal Way, plays off of Megan and out for yet another throw by Federal Way, gaining about 8 yards in their favor. Inbound throw again, headed by Megan. Alicia battling. Hannah steps up and puts a rocket on it, knocks it forward, where Federal Way knocks it down. Brooke takes possession, plays it forward to Reese. Reese misses on the touch. Now Sydney with possession, moving forward. Steps around one defense, moving in high to the 18, and Brooke offsides.
You can't get caught diving there.
Harbor subbing 3. Poppy Jacobson in, Hannah Heavison in, and Ashlyn McCricky in. Reese Zimney out. Kat Loxo out.
The more active you are without the ball, the better you are, okay? You're doing great. Keep it up, but stay active.
And Brooke comes off the field as well.
Spaces you want to attack.
So Brooke Zamberlin, Caitlin Loxo, and Reese Zimney out for subs.
Gotta win those battles. Gotta win your battles.
Free kick. Federal Way played up. Harbor knocked the ball back into Federal Way's direction. And ball is getting batted around in midfield now. See if we can get some clear possession by one team.
Wonderful. That's a better attitude.
Federal Way now looking to do something with it. Plays it forward.
Talk to her. Talk to her.
Midfield knocks it up the right-hand side again. Looks like that one's going to run out wide. That's going to be a Harbor throw on the far sideline.
That's better. Otto, way to set the tone with that win. Let's go. Win your 50-50 battles, girls.
Harbor inbound throw. Possession won by Federal Way. Quickly turned over to Harbor, and now Hannah in a battle in the midfield. Maintains possession, plays it forward to Haley. Haley knocks it right back to Hannah after she settles it on a nice play. And a great ball through from Hannah. Alicia being called offsides, questioning the call, believes she was onside, but nonetheless, we'll have a free kick. Federal Way.
Hey, where's there to play? Is there
About 30 yards out
Still a little too straight. Just give me width.
on the far side of center.
Go where you can get it. Go get the ball.
Free kick Federal Way, moves it quickly up the right-hand side. Megan in a foot race with the Federal Way player. Ball's played out of bounds by Harbor for a throw, Federal Way.
Turn and face the game, and when the holding midfielder opens up, one of you go it.
Otto, that's so much better, Otto. Keep setting the tone. I need you to want to be on the ball.
Federal Way inbound throw. Quickly turned possession by Harbor. Sydney up to Hannah. Hannah running up. Haley with the ball.
Hey, forward, you can't give the ball away like that, okay? Let's be better.
Ball runs out of bounds for Harbor throw. She went steps up, inbound throw to Ashlyn. Goes over her shoulder and into the Federal Way defense, and the ball's knocked forward long. Now we have a foot race for the ball between Evelyn Zetterberg. She knocks it back to Caitlin, and Caitlin pops it up. Just grazes off the head of the Federal player, and now ball played up by Hannah to Ashlyn. Ashlyn tucks nicely on the ball, working it into the top of the 18. Little contact, but nothing there. Ball played across by Haley. That's going to run out of bounds for a goal kick.
We've got to lock it down better in the midfield than that when they counter.
So Harbor with an opportunity, arguably their first quality opportunity of the day,
Understand that.
ends up out for a goal kick by Federal Way.
Hey, what? 22's gone open.
The goal kick is low line, middle field, but plays directly to the foot of Federal Way player in midfield.
You're fine, Emma. Just tidy it.
Federal Way looks to settle the ball in possession, does, and knocks the ball forward long. I think this one's going to have legs and roll out. Should be a Harbor throw deep on the far sideline.
Okay? They're defending that space behind them, so now it's soft in front of them, but you got to play in there. keep commanding that back line, okay? We're getting fragmented at
Inbound throw by Harbor.
Good, Alyssa.
It's
That's
knocked
well
up.
done.
Federal Way ends up
Watch
settling
her,
the
Anna.
ball.
You gotta wanna be on the ball.
Got
No, Marcia, you don't
a battle
run
for
to the
possession
ball
on
to
the far
support it.
sideline. The ball gets knocked
Right.
upfield by Federal Way,
You
and
don't
that's going to
run
run
to it to
out
support
off the
it. You
post
move off and get an angle.
on the inside for a goal kick, Harbor. So we're halfway through the first period, or first half,
Win your battles
20
here,
minutes in.
especially in the midfield.
Score
You gotta win
0-0.
battles. Jump early.
Not too many opportunities generated by either team at this point. A goal kick up to center. Hannah settles the ball, moves outside, plays it forward to Poppy. Poppy unable to turn. The ball gets played out of bounds.
Lock them in. Make them play.
Not quite yet. It's going to hang on the line. And
That is
Megan
great,
slow
Dad.
played it and waited and kicked the ball out of bounds to turn
Where's the
possession
better
over
place
for a
you
throw
right now?
to Federal Way.
Where's all the midfielders?
Megan! Get on it early!
Can we get a corner? Can we get a cross out of this throw?
Federal Way with its inbound throw on the far sideline, deep in Harbor territory. Short throw in, knocks it back to the throw, fires it across mid, top of the 18.
Yes, Sammy.
And now we have a battle for it over here on the sideline.
Up the line, Haley!
Haley working it. Nice tuck back to the middle.
Excellent,
Maintains
Sammy.
possession, plays off the foot.
Here we go. Here we go.
Federal Way
Forward.
wins possession, turns the ball quickly the other way, looking to generate something through. And the ball will run out for a goal kick. Harbor.
Hey, we gotta be a little
Sid,
more advanced
Hannah,
to get in to finish
you
off.
two are just going on a roundabout. Go straight to the point. Get a ball at feet and work it. Haley, move in.
Caitlin
Move
with a
in.
goal
Go
kick
inside.
on the near side, number 6.
Alyssa, slide
It's a
this
high
way, Liz.
looping
Stay
ball.
connected with Barsh.
Off the foot of Federal Way.
Good, Nina. Beautiful.
Avalon fires it forward, but it careens off of the Federal Way foot.
Marcia, make sure Alyssa stays
And probably should have let
connected
that
with
one
you,
run out
especially
for
when the ball's on
a
this
goal
side,
kick,
okay?
but instead
You can
plays
shoot
it out of
forward a little
bounds
bit
for a
right now,
Federal
Liz.
Way
What
throw.
we don't want to allow is a big passing lane between you
Puppy.
and Barsh where they can find her.
Federal Way throw on the near sideline, deep in Harbor territory to the edge of the 18.
Good effort, Kylie.
Settled by Federal Way. She turns and tries to fire it in on frame, but it plays out long for a goal kick. Harbor. Caitlin again with the goal kick on the near side, 6. A little lower this time, more driven off of Sydney's shoulder. Federal Way plays it, but that's going to run out of bounds for a Harbor throw.
Locked in here. Lock it out. Good, Kylie.
Schuin steps up for the Harbor throw. Takes a few yards of liberty.
Over to Otto next time. Kylie,
Plays it in deep. Federal Way wins possession of the ball on the near sideline. That's going to be out of bounds for a Harbor throw.
Mark up. Kylie, mark up. Kylie, mark up.
Schuin, inbound throw to attempt to Sydney. Didn't quite make it. And now Federal Way with the ball. Plays it in where Kylie hammers it down the field. Got a little bit of a battle in the midfield. Foul on Alicia called by the center ref
So Kylie,
for a little tug. It's going to be a Federal Way free kick.
but once we've won it, think about where there's a great space for you. So sometimes it involves a lot of extra work.
Watch anything
That's just what the
simple.
game needs
Hey,
today, okay?
watch. Shoot.
Federal Way plays the ball quick. Catches Harbor standing on their heels. Ball plays through to Kylie. Kylie steps and hammers it forward where it's intercepted by Federal Way and played in deep. Looks like we should have had an offsides call, but Federal Way with a golden opportunity here.
Sydney, come here. Come here.
Sorry
come here.
for the poor
Quick.
camera work there, but I'll make an adjustment here.
Don't leave her alone. Let anyone else beat you. Let's go. Get in there. Come on.
Caitlin with the goal kick. Again on the near side. High.
Good effort.
Hannah tries to step in and get it.
Let it go. Next up. Ash, take it.
Harbor throw. Sub. Kat Loxo subbing in. Ashley McCricky out.
A little bit. Bring Alyssa with you. Close those up.
Schuin with the
Alyssa,
inbound
slide
throw.
in.
Plays it short to Haley. Haley tucks and turns inside
More than the foot sit,
where it's
okay?
played off of
Pick it up,
Drop
pick it up,
sit,
pick it
drop
up.
sit.
Throw it in long. Throw it in.
Federal
Drop
Way.
set.
Haley grabs the inbound.
Good.
Throws
second
it forward
ball.
where it's headed by Federal Way.
Be ready, Sammy. Be ready, Sammy. On your toes.
Haley battling possession, wins.
Foul. Make her deal with it.
Plays out of bounds. And it's going to be a Federal Way ball.
Just try and hit it off it, okay?
Federal Way inbound throw on the near sideline. Knocks it forward, but out. And it's going to be a Harbor throw.
Otto, want the ball under her, okay?
Inbound throw by Harbor on the near sideline. Played forward to Federal Way. Federal Way knocks it back up where Avalon intercepts. And we have a tennis match here, folks. Sorry about the camera.
Avalon! Everything, you're dropping everything short. Why can't you just dink one or two in?
So you're covering Kayla, right? Bring Alyssa even and tuck her over with you. That player over there does not matter right now. That player does.
Shuen for the inbound throw.
Haley, in here, up the line.
Okay, don't overshift.
Fires it up where it's played off at Federal Way foot. And now we have a battle for the ball.
To be Varsh, right?
And gets fired back down by Federal Way where Kylie plays it.
Good. Be smart.
Hannah now tries to gain and maintain possession. Knocked over to the side. Poppy working one-on-one with Federal Way. Federal Way plays the ball out of bounds for a Harbor throw.
Sammy, tuck inside of her.
Quickly inbound throw by Megan where it's played forward through to the top of the 18. Federal Way fires it out long and that one's going to hop the fence for another delay while we await the ball.
Otto, how can Kylie help us so that you can help us? And now how do you help? Perfect. Look at that. Every time. Get it sorted out. And Sammy, you tuck in more and open your body up so you can see her.
Megan, the inbound throw on the far sideline, gets it forward through and over. Where Kat has an opportunity to run on. It skips over her and Federal Way plays the ball laterally across the field and up. Avalon now knocks it back to Kylie. Kylie tucks, steps out, knocks it out to Poppy. Poppy battling for possession with Hannah's help. Megan steps up with a little ninja foot, knocks it forward. And we're playing tennis again. Hannah settles, tucks on the inside looking for a pass. An opportunity to distribute, knocks it over to Poppy. Poppy knocks it back into Sid. Sid double teamed, works it in to the top of the 18. Sydney one-on-one in the 18. Loses ball possession. Federal Way now working the ball out, looking to play a long ball through. It does, and that's going to run up where Caitlin should be able to handle that without much issue. Caitlin with a quick out, long, looping high kick. Lands. Kat tries to get up and win that ball possession with the head. Federal Way plays it forward and through. Shuen knocks the ball out of bounds for a Federal Way throw on the near sideline deep in Harbor territory.
Don't be flopping your hands at me. Just start challenging anything that's in there. Anything at all. Anything top to top. If you've got an opportunity to have a crack on target, go ahead and have it.
Federal Way throw near sideline deep in Harbor territory. Avalon steps in, knocks the ball back. Harbor looking to clear the ball out. Avalon does, back across the center of the field where Federal Way runs on. Tries to get the ball forward. Megan on a volley, gets it forward to Alicia. Alicia knocks a long ball through where Kat's looking to run on.
You gotta be dropping on the unpressured ball. Shield. Cindy.
And the ball runs long.
Unpressed ball, you gotta already be
out
dropping hard
for a goal
because
kick.
You know that's where it's going.
Federal Way.
Hey, one of you should be open. Split them apart. Emma. Get available, Emma.
Free kick, Federal Way. Federal Way wins possession, looks to play it back to their defense, but the ball is played short and out of bounds. It'll be a Harbor throw on the far sideline, about 25 yards. In the offensive end, inbound throw played by Federal Way with a strong shoulder by Alicia. Ball comes back through midfield. Avalon steps up, manages to get the ball, knocks it out wide to Poppy on the far sideline. Poppy in a one-on-one battle loses possession to Federal Way, and now Federal Way is looking to knock the ball up long again.
Hey, look for those diagonal passes, not straight ahead.
So
Emma, Kylie, you shouldn't be on the same side of the field, Emma and Kylie.
It's like Federal Way is looking to beat us on long counter-attacking balls. Fortunately for Harbor, nothing has come of them just yet.
Strong shape. How do we get a good triangle out of that
Puppy!
midfield?
Puppy! E, go to the left again.
Poppy out. Brooke coming in. Alicia moving out wide.
Reese, you ready to go again? Well done, Poppy.
Good, Kylie. Way to win your battle. Get active.
Ball played in by Federal Way. Shewin knocks it up. Back to Sid. Sid now with possession in the midfield. Knocks it out wide where Hannah's there to run on. Hannah, uncontested, moving up. Plays it out wide to Alicia. Alicia way out on the far sideline now. Knocks it cross through. Federal Way knocks it down. Moves it outside the 18 on the far sideline. Brooke battling with her to try to gain possession. Off Brooke's foot, out of bounds for a Federal Way throw on the far sideline.
Sammy, go inside of her.
Federal Way throw, far sideline, in, directly to Alicia. Alicia chests it down to her feet. She's in a battle at the near far sideline. She knocks one through where it's going to come on up. Keeper's going to come out and handle that ball without too much to do.
Ladies, we've got to get a hold of the ball and play a bit, right?
Sorry, folks, making some adjustments here to my
Stay
camera.
with it.
Harbor possessing the
Great
ball.
tackle. Can we keep
Alicia
it?
moves in,
Come on.
loses possession. Alicia's getting
Hey, forward.
called for a foul.
Right there, you've got
A little
to
too
be more
ambitious on her
active without the
challenge.
ball. Move without the ball.
Subbing in is Reese. Haley Hebeson out.
E, don't be getting frustrated.
Federal Way, free kick, 35 yards, right of center. Plays it out wide. Alicia works in. Federal Way knocks a high looping ball in where it's over Megan's head.
Let's play, let's play.
Federal Way knocks the ball back into the middle. Sydney intercepts. We got Hannah tries to play it up the side to Alicia. That plays out off of Federal Way for a Harbor throw. Megan on the far sideline for the throw. About 32 yards, inbound long to Brooke. Down off of Brooke's knees to a Federal Way player and out of bounds for a Harbor throw. Inbound throw off a Federal Way head, out of bounds for yet another Harbor throw on the far sideline. Federal Way subbing one.
Perla, in a little while you're going to switch to the left or the center. Hey, for now just switch with Nina. Switch with Nina, put her out here. And then in a little bit switch Perla.
Megan, inbound throw to the foot of Alicia. Alicia battling one-on-one. Federal Way kicks the ball out of bounds for another Harbor throw.
Nina, keep making runs without the ball, okay? Think about your movement without the ball.
Inbound throw by Megan. Sydney turns, allows the ball to drift in through mid. Sydney fires one up.
Think about how you can get unmarked.
Wide outside.
Perla, switch with Kendall. Yeah.
Out for a goal kick. Federal Way.
Hey, let's get Kendall involved in the game now.
Federal Way keeper on the far side of her sigs. Left-footed, high ball, looping. Out where Kylie steps in, knocks the ball forward. Federal Way settles. We're going to have a foul.
God, we've given away 4 or 5 stupid shit fouls.
Clipping the foot on the kick. Harbor free kick, Federal Way, about 40 yards far of center in their defensive end.
Reese, right in front of you. Reese! Reese!
Federal Way knocks it back to their defense where they fire in a long looping bomb. And now Federal Way working. We got an offsides call. Late offsides call.
Good effort, good idea.
Caitlin to take the free kick inside the arc, just outside the 18.
Get away from each other! Reese, Push higher out here. Come on.
Caitlin, free kick up the middle, center. Sydney shoulders it up and over.
Work off it. Work
Federal
off it.
Federal Way looking for possession, but Sydney steps in and takes the possession, knocks it here to Hannah. Hannah dribbling up to the foot of Reese. Reese makes a nice play to drift the ball off her foot and through.
Great job.
Out to Hannah, and now Hannah and moving up. And unfortunately knocked back off of Hannah out for a goal kick.
Show me your quality. All right? Hey, I love how clever you are. Less turnovers though. Okay?
Goal kick, Federal Way.
Slot yourself out, right? Hey, it's the same position as playing wide back, right? Except for you get to go forward a lot more.
Left-footed goalkeeper, near side of the 6.
Good. Help it forward.
Right to Kat.
Good, Kylie.
Kat not able to get up. Ball got knocked in. Keeper comes out to handle the ball.
Emma, get yourself available.
Federal Way keeper with a high looping punt. Lands directly midfield center. Avalon wins, knocks the ball forward. We have a bit of a tennis match. Sydney now with the ball. Turns inside. Looked like she drew a foul. The referee says play on. Brooke with a little footwork. Nice turn inside and then back out. Plays the ball out to Alicia. She knocks it across to Kat. Kat to Reese. Now Reese battling with the defender. Defender plays it out of bounds safe. Good work by Harbor, Brooke, Kat, Reese working well together to generate an opportunity. Kat inbounds to Reese. Reese crosses the ball too far. Over the goal and out for a goal kick on the far side. Good idea.
Kylie, how do we get you available? If Otto marks up, how do we get you available, Kylie? Look at all the space you can find. If you draw a center, yeah, go. If you take a center back with you, that's fine. That's great if a center back comes off the line.
Goal kick, Federal Way. Far side of the 6.
Now, Perla, you're faced with 1v1 now, right? So you got to be ready if we win it. How can you exploit that?
Nice strong kick, looping up and over. Headed forward by Federal Way. Megan pops one up high. Center midfield, Federal Way head. Got a 4-player battle for the ball in the mid. Federal Way knocks one forward, looking to run in long. Having a foot race. Plays it out of bounds, wide, safe. Federal Way throw on the near sideline, deep in Harbor territory.
Hey, it's the Big 5, ladies. Can we win the Big 5 here?
2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Inbound throw by Federal Way, played into the 18 where Kylie heads it out. Plays back in. Avalon with the right-footed chip. Gets it up. Reese knocks it back to Kat. Kat battling, plays it in. Federal Way intercepts. Federal Way now knocks the ball back into the top edge of the 18.
Sydney,
it's played out of bounds.
You gave away possession, then you
for
ball
a Federal Way throw.
And walked.
Girls, stay organized in the back. Let's not all walk past midfield and then somebody slides behind us and we forget.
Inbound throw by Federal Way off the chest of Federal Way player. Sydney battling for possession.
Go
wins.
on,
coming up the near sideline.
Take away that pass in there.
Tucks into the middle. Nice 2-footed switch.
Look at her.
Working solo.
Girls, there you go.
And
Good, Kylie.
ball gets taken but lands at the foot of Alicia. Alicia fires it up and over. Now Kat looking to run in. And the Federal Way defender fires the ball out of bounds over the fence and down the ravine. And we're looking for another ball. Far sideline, waiting for another ball to come into play. John Yellowlees to the rescue. Harbor throw, near sideline, deep. Shewin to take. Shewin fires in long, looking for Reese. Reese plays it, settles at her feet, knocks it out wide to Kat. Kat puts it back up for Reese near the touch, and that's fired by Reese off the defender's foot out. Another ball in the woods, but a corner kick for her Harbor. First corner kick of the game for either team. We're drawing near the end of the first, about 30 seconds left on the clock. Alicia to take on the near side.
Don't let it bounce.
She'll take this left-footed, be an in-swinging curl, low driven, but not in bounds. Hits the side of the net for a goal kick. Goal kick Federal Way. This should probably conclude the first half.
Help it.
The referee blows his whistle. We'll take a timeout here for halftime.
Can you stretch my hand again, please?
¿Dónde está la otra pelota?
Oh, it's not.
What is it? Where? Oh yeah, right there.
Yeah.
And this one, please. Oh,
Got one over.
Perfect. We're fine. Right, Chris?
Yes.
Games today, or 3 of them, huh? Well, it's chilly out, but at least you're dry, you know? Because if you were soaking wet and you had 2 more games after this,
and then
I wouldn't envy you.
A few days ago, you know how it was during the PM, and then
well, like this game
I can
be over.
many clothes, and it's still very
You
cold.
can't win.
And then I was in Shoreline
Yeah, it's just right there.
2 weeks ago, ice on the field, and I was hoping nobody showed up there, but
They
were
did
there.
anyways.
Yes.
I mean, if these were like games, shoot, I would just swap it. So, explaining about the, he's hungry, so. You want something? Oh, 5.
Okay.
Una para todos, todos para uno.
Thank you.
Todos para uno.
One for all and all for one, right? All right, we should be lining up here to get second half started here momentarily. Score 0-0. Let's all hope that the halftime communication proved to be fruitful and
Anna, you play it to her.
we can get on with winning this half. Well, we should be starting the second half. Harbor 0, Federal Way 0. 40 minutes left on the clock.
Hey, don't even be there. Come here.
Perla, what space do they want? What space they want? Go in the space they want. Make a triangle with it, right?
You went the
And
wrong
we're underway.
way.
Second half.
Got
Ball
something
kicked
now,
forward, played off of a head, Federal Way, out of bounds for a Harbor throw.
Megan, you
Far
weren't
sideline,
listening,
Harbor
were you?
offensive end. Schwinn steps up, short inbound throw to
Oh, I want
Ashland.
you to go the opposite direction.
Ashland
You got
turns, gets the
something
ball
out
up
of it,
outside to
bud.
Poppy. Hannah comes in with a shoulder, bumps the defense off the ball. Federal Way regains. Harbor now in possession. Hannah tucks inside, plays the ball in. Looking for Poppy. Federal Way steps in, takes the possession, plays it up, far sideline. Avalon turns, takes the ball, knocks it forward. Alicia back to Sydney. Sydney looking to get it to somebody. Has to turn and tuck back into the midfield. And now, looking back to Megan. Federal Way steps in, takes possession. Now Federal Way working the ball up. Avalon out wide.
Sydney, why did you play her a ball 50-50 when you could have played it in the inside?
Ball out of bounds on the near sideline here at midfield. Federal Way inbound throw. Megan off her head down to Cat. Cat knocks it forward.
Again, get there.
Federal way to Federal way, moving the ball forward. Out wide and up the right-hand side.
If you need to.
Touches, draws inside against Megan. Right into the 18 where Kylie comes in to challenge. And now Kylie chooses to play the ball out safely for a Federal way throw on the near sideline, deep in Harbor defensive territory. Federal way inbound throw, off Hannah's foot, off her head, out of bounds, deflected. Federal way for a Harbor throw, deep in their own defensive territory. Megan, inbound throw to Hannah. Hannah low, turns, headed out of bounds by Federal way for another Harbor throw. Megan taking some liberties, moves the ball up. Inbound throw off the chest of Federal way, out of bounds for a Harbor throw. Cat looking to take quick, plays it forward to Ashlyn. Ashlyn up the sideline, off her foot and out of bounds.
Hey! Turn inside! Come on!
Federal way throw, near sideline, deep in their own defensive territory. Ball back into the middle. Sydney off her knee, drops into Federal way. Federal way plays it through, but Avalon steps up. And again, Avalon intercepts, turns possession the other way, out to Poppy. Poppy loses the ball, then regains the ball. Plays it up to Ashlyn. Ashlyn working the far sideline around the defense. The defense knocks it back. And then out wide on the far sideline for a Harbor throw. A little over 3 minutes into the second half. Score 0-0. Inbound throw.
Yeah, but mine don't solve it in there either, you know.
Hannah with possession, looking to strike, does, low and wide, outside left, non-threatening.
What was that? Hey, you had time, maybe you could have pulled it, yeah?
Who gets open, Kylie? How do you get open, Kylie?
No shift, no
Goal
shift.
kick, Federal way, near side of 6.
I think I'm the last one that plays it.
Thank you.
Looping kick, straight forward. Megan steps up off her chest. And now Federal way knocks one through, and they're off to the races. Onside, fires the ball back through the middle. Avalon knocks it back out.
And you as well, Perla. Composure.
And
Let's get something.
what appeared to be an attempt on frame by Federal way winded up well wide and out for a goal kick. Harbor, Caitlin to take on the near side of her 6.
Look up, you'll find like the keeper wasn't even in front of her goal, okay? You just got to relax in that moment.
Caitlin with a high looper, played directly to Federal way head, back into the 18, where Caitlin will come out to handle. Maybe she can get a little bit more on it this time. She elects to punt, fires it long, wide, far sideline. It gets a nice Harbor roll. Should run out for... Poppy elects to play it off of a Federal way foot and out for the Harbor throw. And now Sydney working possession with a toe drag, knocks it across to Alicia. Alicia settles and plays it directly to the foot of the defender, who fires it forward. Kylie off of her head, backwards, misfortune. Caitlin has to come way out and fire the ball, where Tim makes a great play, back heel, to keep the ball from rolling out. Long throw in, Federal way. Megan, slow playing, plays it out safe.
Go early, Perla, go early!
Against Tim's better judgment. And he lets her know about it. As you could hear.
Find Perla!
Federal way throw, probably an illegal throw. Yep, was a illegal throw. Didn't come back over her head and lifted her feet. Very poor throw in. Inbound by Harbor, knocked back through Federal way. Long drive in from midfield all the way into Caitlin's hands on her line. Caitlin out to punt. bombs it way down the sideline, end over, rolls, head, Federal Way out of bounds, Harbor throw. Hannah to take quick, into Poppy, Poppy down off her chest, back to Hannah, Hannah now battling for it. And that runs out off of Hannah for a Federal Way throw. Federal Way throw inbound, Hannah right foot, back to the line, out of bounds, Federal Way throw.
Otto, can you look to screen the strong side 9, but take away the pass to
Federal Way throw. Harbor knocks it back. Federal Way now with it.
Good, Emma.
Battle there for the ball. Federal Way wins, moving forward, plays a long ball through that should run in for Caitlin.
You're losing possession.
Handled easily.
Too often. Let's get something productive out of it.
Kylie.
Open the game up.
Caitlin with another high bomb. This one sails a frickin'
Keep
country
going.
mile.
Keep
Pops
going.
over everybody's head. It's headed into the 18 by the Federal Way defense. Ashlyn battling for it. It's played out of bounds. Far sideline for a Harbor throw.
That is not good enough. 2 bounces, then we turn inside.
Hannah inbound throw to Ashlyn. Back to Hannah. Hannah with a high looper to the top of the 18 where Alicia looks to work. Federal Way defense comes out. Fails on opportunity to clear the ball. Now Megan working hard to try to get possession. Gets a strong shoulder off. Out of bounds. Harbor throw near sideline. Megan to take. Up to Kat. Kat settles off her knee to her foot. Turns and fires it back to the middle. Nobody from Harbor there. Plays it back. Wide open Hannah. Hannah with a little step over. Plays it out to Kat, but ends up at the foot of Federal Way. Out of bounds for a Harbor throw. Megan up to take the throw near sideline.
Just go at them, all right? Take
Federal Way defensive territory. Looking to inbound to Alicia, but directly to the chest of Federal Way player. It's played out of bounds again for a Harbor throw. I can't talk as fast as the activity's going on. Either not enough coffee or haven't had a beer yet, so bear with me. Megan, inbound throw, deep, center over, Ashlyn. Fields it, plays it off her knee. Looks to win possession. It's going to run out of bounds for a Harbor throw directly at midfield. Megan inbound to Kat. Kat with a nice touchdown off her foot. Plays the ball into Ashlyn. Ashlyn knocks it back in. Looked like an opportunity about to take place. Sydney tucks, draws the ball back in. Again, tucks and turns. Plays it out wide to Poppy. Poppy now moving the ball. Gets it back to Sid. Federal Way intercepts, plays forward, but Avalon then knocks it right back in. Sydney almost got the ball under Federal Way foot. Federal Way now working the ball laterally across the field, plays it here to the near side. And they're looking to draw a ball down through. Good idea, a little too much. Easily handled by Caitlin.
Hannah, hands off your hips, let's go. Come on, let's get up there.
That's better, be built. Let's go, keep
Caitlin with another bomb. Looping ball over.
Simple for her, simple for her.
Her punts are working well for her today. Let's see if we can get a long one through and capitalize on this. It's out of bounds, far sideline for a Federal Way throw. Just shy of midfield, but likes to take it in her own territory quick. It's fired back to the defense. The defense chips one back into the midfield. And 2 Federal Way players come across and compete with each other to Harbor's favor. Federal Way struggling a little bit here to manage the ball effectively. Shewin plays the ball out wide. It's going to run out for a Federal Way throw. Federal Way throw, far sideline, about 25, 28 yards up. Deep inbound throw. Shewin battling, ball plays across. Federal Way out for a goal kick, Harbor. Federal Way subbing 1. We're 11 minutes into the second half. Haley Hebes and Brooke Zamberlin and Reese Zimney up on the sideline warming up for ensuing substitutions. Caitlin's goal kick flies out, Hannah ducks, and it hits the Federal Way player directly in the face. Federal Way shoots from at a distance, handled fairly easily by Caitlin on her right shoulder post. Looks to step up and fire another punt out. A little bit off the side of her foot, got a bit of a crossspin on it, but it still sails long, plays well down for Harbor. Poppy knocks the ball in deep through the mid. Hannah now working to try to win possession of the ball. Kat steps up and fires it in, where Alicia plays one off the inside of her foot. Gets hog-tied. Managed to gain possession of the ball, turns and fires one through the middle. Ashlyn on the outside of her foot. It deflects back in Federal Way's favor. Shawin battling for the ball out at midfield now. Poppy working on it. Wins possession, plays the ball forward. Federal Way intercepts. Now Federal Way looking to break up the field. Federal Way with a nice tuck in. Plays a little long where Kylie's able to step up and intercept outside to Poppy. Now Poppy knocks the ball in towards the middle, but nobody there for Harbor to take the ball. Federal Way again. Turns, plays the ball forward long through, and this is going to be interesting. Caitlin out quick. Gains the advantage, comes out and handles the ball safely at the top of the 18. And a whiffed punt on the side, but still gets it well across midfield. Ashlyn working hard, turns blindly, fires the ball up. Nobody there for Harbor, but she quickly wins possession back again, outside to Hannah. Hannah outside to Kat. Kat looking to turn it right back into Hannah, and Hannah back to Kat. We're working something here. A little deep, Federal Way able to take. Hannah fires the ball back through, and now Alicia, uncontested, opens herself a little bit, fires wide left. Goal kick, Federal Way. Federal Way goal kick, near side of the 6. High looper through the middle. Hannah off her shoulder down to Sydney. Sydney loses the ball to Federal Way. Federal Way moves the ball up towards midfield. Avalon wins, fires it out wide to Poppy. Poppy working the ball, gets intercepted off the foot of Federal Way up the far sideline. And now we have a foot race. Avalon there to play it out of bounds. Federal Way with a quick inbounds. Turns and fires the ball across the middle. Caitlin handles.
Great stuff, Sydney.
Hannah, sit. Hannah, sit. Push.
Caitlin shanks this ball off the outside of her foot and falls well short of midfield.
Much better.
Sit. That should be in.
Federal Way possessing, knocks the ball forward. Federal Way runs on the inside of the defense, moves the ball through laterally on the 18, but a weak shot, non-threatening, hits the outside. Hits the outside of the goal. Subbing Harbor, Ashlyn Mokricki out, Brooke Zamberlin in, Reese Zimney in, Poppy Jacobson out, Haley Hebison in, Kat Loxo out. Goal kick, Harbor, Caitlin to take, near side 6, fires it up through the middle, where Hannah wins, chests the ball, turns, fires it over. Federal Way heads it. Hannah then wins it again. Fires one in and through. It's in behind the defense, and the goalkeeper's going to be able to run out and handle this one with Alicia putting pressure on her. Short kick, keeper, midfield. Avalon off the inside of her foot, knocks it down to Hannah. Hannah plays it out wide to Reese. Reese a little bit too big of a touch. Federal Way then moves the ball up. Fires a looping ball over. Kylie's defending. Kylie off her head outside to Haley. Haley tries to make the play at the sideline off her foot and out for a for a Federal Way throw. Near sideline, 40 yards. Harbor defensive end.
Come this way a little. You watch that girl there. Watch. Hey, yeah.
Hey, between the line and Perla.
Federal Way inbound throw. Haley steps and intercepts. Ball fired in by Federal Way.
Work off it, Kylie.
We got an offside call, comes back for the play. Federal Way offsides, free kick, Harbor.
Listen, so when Perla's here and the defender's inside, just throw it right down the line.
Get your head on that ball.
Give her a chance. Hey, how can we keep it here?
Just shy of 16 minutes played in the second half. Score still 0-0.
Get higher! Get higher!
Megan to take the free kick on the offsides to Federal Way. Federal Way fires it back in, looking to turn a long ball in, and Caitlin will come out to handle that ball.
Great idea, just got to get that weight right.
Caitlin with an opportunity to punt, get the ball back down here where Harbor can do something. Fires a long looping ball again over the defense. Brooke with an opportunity just misses on the ball, but it does come back where Reese plays. Reese then knocks it back to her defense. Reese again with the ball in possession. Bops it up to Sydney, and Sydney moving through, fairly uncontested. Now she's got a little pressure on her shoulder. Plays it out wide, but too short for Haley. Federal Way now moving the ball up the sideline in a one-on-one battle. Megan. Ball played in through. Good ball by Federal Way. Avalon knocks her off the ball. Ball rolls out for a goal kick, Harbor.
Can we be stronger?
Don't overcomplicate your game. Just relax. Hey, in that situation, you probably dribble. Let the defender come to you, then split him behind her, okay? Don't play in front.
Goalkeeper's shoe comes untied. Avalon takes care of it for
Ladies, again,
and a wonderful show of teamwork.
On that final ball, you'll get in. Don't forget to get some shots as well.
Caitlin, center driven ball on the goal kick to Hannah. Hannah settles it, flicks it forward to Reese. Reese off the inside of her knee. Ball gets knocked out by Federal Way to the far sideline. Hannah steps in to intercept, knocks it back to Shuen. Shuen in a one-on-one battle. The ball's played through up to Hannah beyond her reach. And now we have a run on by Federal Way on the far side of the 18. Turns, shoots, crossing ball. Running, and out for a Harbor throw.
What were you asked to do when you went
Come on, you gotta make better runs, girls. 3 of you went.
Megan, inbound throw to Haley. Haley's running on quick. Sydney. Sydney turns back into the mid, fires it across to Hannah. Hannah settles, surveys the field, looking to move the ball through, tucks, scissor steps, plays the ball up lightly to Reese. Reese running on far side, touches around the defender. The defender gets 1 foot on the ball and out of bounds for a Harbor throw deep in Federal Way territory out on the far sideline. Probably about 5 yards.
Megan, hover just
Correction,
on the top.
ball plays out for a corner kick.
Don't go away.
Corner kick, Harbor.
Megan's
Alicia to take.
Win your battles here, ladies.
Second corner kick of the game, both of which have been favored to Harbor. Alicia to take and swinging left foot, high, looping ball. Nobody touches one on the far side by Federal Way. Now Federal Way looking to move the ball forward quick.
Kendall, get in, Kendall.
Gets it up wide. Avalon one-on-one. Federal Way player managed to get around her. Avalon shoots and fires across. Dodged a bullet there. Harbor did.
We gotta time it, and there's only 1 runner is the problem.
Crossing ball by Federal Way, just missed by the backside defender. And it plays out of bounds for a Harbor throw on the far sideline. Shuen mistakenly fires it back to Caitlin, thinking it's a goal kick. Referee calls the ball back, and we'll have a Harbor throw, far sideline. Shuen to take. Fires it in over the Federal Way head. Another player from Federal Way steps in, plays it forward off her foot. Shuen fires a ball off the Federal Way foot out of bounds for a Harbor throw. Shuen with the ball, fires it up off the inside of Sydney's foot. Sydney looking to run on. Got a full head of steam, possession of the ball, tucks around the defense, and it's going to run a bit long. Out of bounds for a goal kick, Federal Way.
Girls, it's going to come down to how bad you're willing to work for that goal, okay? We need to get a great opportunity last time. Can we get another? Help it.
Goal kick, Federal Way. Ball's knocked up here, through, near sideline. Working to cross the ball, gets it across.
How bad do you want it?
And a high looping ball over the goal. Lucky dodge for Harbor.
Nice early ball, Perla.
Hey, Hunter and Sid, look, stop. Look where both of you are right now.
Marcia,
You're not
stay.
working hard enough. You need to work harder for each other. Come on.
So we have a goal kick for Federal Way. Be their first of the match.
Hey, in levels, on time.
Federal Way, corner kick, right-footed, near sideline. This ball will be swinging out into the wind. Good ball, low, driven in. Skips the head of one player, Haley, with a strong play to get the ball out. Hannah then moves the ball up, and that's going to run out for a Federal Way throw. Federal Way throw, near sideline, inbound quick. Hannah steps in and intercepts, plays the ball in and long. Federal Way with a little chip. Federal Way plays the ball back to their defense, who fires it forward. Megan then a little bit of a tennis match brewing again. Hannah driving through, out of bounds for a Harbor throw, and a strong play by Hannah.
Hey, hit the corner.
Megan inbound throw to Alicia. Alicia off her chest to her head, back in towards the 18. Federal Way defense flies a high ball. It's hanging on the sideline. Federal Way heads it. Megan, and we have pace moving forward. Federal Way, long through ball coming up.
She's making eye contact. She's showing you where she wants it.
Caitlin plays the dirty ball right back into the middle. Probably not the wisest thing to do, but fortunately Sydney's there with possession of the ball. Gives Caitlin an opportunity to run back in on frame, get back in her goal. Shawin running up, works a nice ball up the far sideline, knocks one in long. Federal Way fires it back out towards the far sideline at Hobbs. And Shawin battling again. One-on-one with Federal Way. Avalon steps up, intercepts. Ball careens back to Megan. She fires it back up where Sydney's now on the ball. Sydney in a one-on-one battle with Federal Way player. Ball runs out of bounds for a Harbor throw on the far sideline. Inbound throw, Shawin, low to Reese. Ball plays in off of Federal Way. Federal Way fires it forward. Federal Way, a couple ahead. Falls back down to the foot of Shawin. Shawin in towards Reese. Towards Brooke. Back to Hannah. Hannah knocks it forward. Federal Way defense plays it wide and out of bounds for a Harbor throw. Federal Way territory, far sideline. Shawin with the inbound throw. Low into Reese's foot. Reese working to gain possession. Reese to Hannah. Hannah knocks one forward. Now Reese again with the ball. Inbound throw, Harbor, out of bounds, Federal Way. Reese looking to take quick. Strong inbound throw to Alicia. Alicia off her foot. Holds it at the far sideline. Tucks in. Double teamed. Now we've got a battle. Ball crossing, looks like it. Ooh. Ball's played out by Harbor for a goal kick, Federal Way.
Hey, look at the two open.
Got about 15 minutes, coach. Federal Way possession, far sideline. Ball centered through. Plays through to Megan. Megan on a hard charge. Coming up from her. Gets her arms up and drives the player to the ground.
Megan, that's silly. Absolutely silly. Stupid tackle. It's ridiculous.
Federal Way free kick on the foul. Harbor.
Drop off 5 yards.
43 yards, just shy of midfield. Long ball in. Kylie steps in. Haley working now.
Referee.
Federal Way, throw in, near sideline off of Megan's head. Federal Way heads the ball in.
Same ball. Kylie, get forward. You're just chasing the ball around.
Ball out of bounds for a Federal Way throw on the near sideline. Inbound throw, Federal Way, off the knee and up.
Alyssa,
Out of bounds for a Harbor throw.
Every time. It shouldn't even be a thought process for you.
Cat in, Brooke out. Megan, inbound throw to Hannah. Hannah flicks with a toe over the head and shoulder. Ball careens back in towards mid. Hannah steps in, takes possession, knocks it forward, directly to the foot of the Federal Way defense. Federal Way knocks it forward. Ball careens off. Sydney battling. Ball through by Federal Way. Dangerous play incoming. Caitlin with a diving save off of a botched ball. Probably the first real concern in the second half. Not sure how who the ball came off of, but looked like it was probably going to land in net if it went through. Long ball off the punt of Caitlin. Cat running on. Federal Way gets out of pressure, knocks the ball forward. Sydney working on it. Out of bounds, near sideline.
Even though the ball goes
Harbor
there,
throw.
what if she misplays it? You just get forward on that. Let
Megan,
the midfield
inbound
win it
throw,
in here.
near sideline. Calling for Alicia. Off the head of a Federal Way player, out for yet another Harbor throw. Cat, quick inbound throw, centers in. Alicia off the outside of her left foot. That's going to be a Harbor throw.
Well done on that last one.
Ball inbound. Moved across the midfield. Federal Way ends up with the ball at foot. Plays it up the sideline. Quickly turned. Federal Way looking to move the ball up. Does a good job. Kylie.
That's better.
Kylie plays the ball out of bounds. One-on-one pressure. With the defense back in position. Federal Way throw. Near sideline, deep in Harbor territory.
You understand? Give balls forward. Final 11 minutes. Let's get a goal.
We're about 11 minutes remaining in this match. Score 0-0. Federal Way throw, near sideline. I'm sorry, Harbor throw, near sideline. Megan to take. Long centering throw, high on Sydney's chest. Back to Haley. Haley tries to get it back into Sid. Intercepted by Federal Way. They fire it in. Federal Way charging. Caitlin coming out. And the ball is knocked in and just luckily wide of the net. We dodged another bullet. Goal kick, Harbor. Goal kick, Harbor.
Stand high. Keep pressing that back line. Kylie, I'm going to want you to start cheating more.
Near side 6, Caitlin, goal kick.
Kylie to cheat more. What do I need from you and Emma?
Sydney gets bumped off the ball with a good shoulder. The ball ends up landing at the foot of Haley. Careened around once or twice. Federal Way now. Megan with a strong shoulder to knock Federal Way player off the ball. Megan trying to get to it, but it's out for a goal kick. Correction, corner kick. The referee overrode the linesman. Corner kick, Federal Way near sideline. Right-footed kick. Again, directly into the wind. Out swinging ball.
Hey, look at the goal, ladies. What's on?
Nice high ball. Attempted to be headed in. Played out by Harbor. Cat running. Alicia running. Federal Way knocks it back on defense. Looks to resettle. Ball played in off Federal Way center across. Moves it forward. Federal Way working again. Hannah looks to step in and take possession. Alicia now with the ball on a careening pass by Federal Way. Out to Haley off her knee, and it's going to be out of bounds for a Federal Way throw.
Hey, I guarantee you're going to get another chance. What are you going to do with it? Right?
Hey, be patient, okay?
Federal Way throw near sideline.
Keep getting balls forward, ladies.
Handled well, flicked up and over.
Help it forward. Come on, Kylie. Don't
Kylie
take
steps
the ball
up,
anymore.
with the outside of her
Come on,
foot, knocks the ball over
foul.
to Reese. Reese with an errant touch, Federal Way with possession. Shiwen steps in, challenging for the ball, 50-50. Federal Way wins possession, working to move the ball forward. Shiwen gets stepped by, and now a long running ball in. Caitlin down again, and she gets challenged. Should not be a goal, in my opinion. I think there's a foul to be called. The ball ended up in the back of the net. There was a heavy challenge. We're talking for conversation between the referees to determine whether or not the goal is going to count or whether she had possession or not.
Hey, girls.
Calling for a goal kick.
Let's go. It's gonna come.
Calling for a goal kick.
Let's go.
After conversation by the side judge and the referee, it was agreed that the possession was in favor of the goalkeeper.
I put you in and I asked you to do a certain job and you're not doing it. Get the ball, face goal, knock it in. You're coming off an injury. Simple, simple, simple.
Get it right
Goal
back
kick.
in here. Let's go.
I'm sorry, free kick. Harbor, Caitlin steps and knocks it up off the head. That one's going to run out of bounds if we let it play. Good.
Hey, look behind you.
Quick, Cat in. Alicia chest forward. Alicia trying to step around. Ball gets knocked back on defense. Played up long.
3v4. Let's go.
Federal Way running. Federal Way running on with the ball. Fires one in, long cross. Should be handled by Caitlin if it doesn't go over her head. And she does handle successfully.
Go, big five, ladies. Keep getting those balls in.
Caitlin quick, long booming punt. Again, over most of the players, including the defense head.
Good, help it. Help it. Next ball, Nina. Good, next
Federal
one.
Way now working again. Moves the ball forward, long through. Caitlin's going to have to come up. Does. Handles at the top of her 18.
Stay forward, don't drop. Don't drop.
Caitlin with a high punt, shanked off the outside of her foot. Federal Way off the knee.
Get your numbers in. Get your numbers in.
Possession, crossing, uncontested. Federal Way
Relax, relax.
fires over the goal. Lucky.
It's gonna come. Let's go.
You drop to midfield. You drop to midfield.
Get that ball.
Subbing in, Ashlyn out, Haley.
Well done, Haley.
Goal kick, Caitlin, far side 6.
Let's go, ladies. Big five.
Driven, flicked off the head, defense,
Push,
backwards.
push.
Shiwen running on, steps up, knocks the ball forward. Federal Way plays the ball.
That's over you.
Back into the field, Shiwen battling out of bounds. Federal Way for a Harbor throw. She went in quick. Poppy gets jacked in the back, trying to maintain possession.
You can help, Kendall. You
Working
can
for the
help,
ball.
Kendall, you can
And
double
picks
team
up the
right
ball
there.
before there's any call.
Just take them.
It's a Federal Way inbound throw, apparently. Lucky we didn't get
Quick
called
way,
for a
quick way.
handball.
Yeah,
Out of bounds
forward.
again.
Get
Federal Way
up,
throw,
open
far
up, Perla,
sideline.
lighten up.
Pace is picking up. A little haphazard play by Harbor. Federal Way with possession. Out of bounds off Federal Way for a Harbor throw, far sideline deep. Five minutes remaining.
Let's go,
Referee
go,
toots his
Get
horn.
it
Harbor.
forward.
Looks like we'll have a Harbor free kick. Tim? Nil-nil, 5 minutes remaining. Kylie, long driving hard ball in.
Cover.
Federal Way wins possession.
Quickly.
Alicia through the back, foul. Free kick Federal Way.
Or let them all recover.
Hey, don't step forward. Drop off a little and win the ball.
Federal Way,
Okay,
long driven
okay.
ball in.
There you go.
Hannah steps up and heads
Battle.
that one back in. Alicia battling one-on-one. Now Ashlyn with the ball, plays it back to Sid. Sid tucks and turns back into the mid, fires it across where Alicia knocks it back to Hannah. Hannah uncontested, fires it out to Poppy. Poppy settles it and right back to Hannah. Hannah step over, tucks, turns, knocks it back in. Alicia turns, fires in, near post, goal save.
Go early, Kristen.
Punt. Outside of the foot, wide, over the head. Avalon steps, flicks, and now we have a foot race on the far sideline. Federal Way with a crossing ball. Avalon intercepts, knocks it forward. Alicia fights, gets possession. Ashlyn turns and fires the ball up the far sideline, too far. Out of bounds for a Federal Way throw. Federal Way long inbound throw, crosses midfield. Shewin in a battle, wins, knocks the ball forward. Battle for the ball. Hannah plays it forward for Alicia. Federal Way defense steps in, takes it, fires it up towards her player on the sideline, knocks one in towards the middle. Over Kylie, around to Avalon. Avalon knocks it forward. Megan settles it and plays it in. Federal Way knocks it back to their defense, and their defense fires it in. Off the inside foot of Kylie, out of bounds. Out of bounds off Megan's foot. Federal Way throw, midfield. Off of Megan, out of bounds.
Nina, be active as well. Nina, be active as well.
Federal Way inbound throw, deep.
Perla,
Out.
that's where I want
Out
you
for
to
a
go.
goal kick. Goal kick, Harbor. 2.5.
Win it, keep it here. Let's go, keep it here. Keep it here.
Goal kick. Hannah turns, chests it, flips it over, flies in over the defense. Ashlyn runs in.
Done, Kayla, well done.
Battle for the ball. Alicia in the defense of Federal Way. Ashlyn with a nice turn, fires it over to Sid. Sid tucks, can't get it around the defense. Federal Way plays the ball back forward. Now we're going the other way. Up. Megan settles with possession. Fires it out wide to Hannah. Hannah looking to do something here with the ball in the waning minutes of the game. Kat fires a crossing ball in. Federal Way clears it. Megan with the touch in. Avalon fires the ball up.
We've got to win the ball.
Poppy working the far sideline. Federal Way gains possession, moves the ball forward.
Step up.
Honey, got a drop.
Ball knocked in by Federal Way. Way out wide, and we have an offsides call.
Hey, the minute
Play
they
it
get
early.
possession, you've got to drop. There's a big hole in there if we win the ball. Hey, let's go.
Free kick, Harbor. Free kick, Harbor.
Get in or play a high one. Get it to the back post and in.
For about a minute, guys.
Alyssa, drop with your line.
Free kick taken by Kylie, and Ashlyn tries to settle, knocks back Federal Way.
Come on,
Megan
up and
intercepts.
roll,
Megan fires a long one in. Off the defense of Federal Way. Kat running in. One-on-one. Fired out by Federal Way for a Harbor throw on the near sideline.
Perla, you got to slide it wider. You got to get working.
Referee calls 1 minute remaining. Harbor. Hannah fires the ball in.
Gotta bang it to the back door.
Wider, Perla.
Punt. Federal Way. Crosses center field. Big hop.
Come on.
Avalon fires it out wide where Kat settles it. Too errantly of a touch. Megan to Kat. Kat to Hannah. Hannah up the side to Kat.
Get forward.
It's going to run out of bounds for a Federal Way throw. Federal Way throw.
Nina, give us something. Let's go. Kylie, stay high.
Don't go. Don't go. Hey, Avalon, drop.
Good.
Head Federal Way played forward, in and across. Avalon tries to step in.
Get in now.
Ball knocked in. Caitlin out to challenge late.
Let's go
Does.
quickly.
It's going to be a corner kick. How we finish this game on a corner kick for Federal Way.
Hey, this might be your last chance. What do you want to do with it?
Drop it. Drop it.
Right-footed kicker, corner kick into the wind. Low, driven, cleared away. Referee does not have his
Why is nobody
whistle.
on that?
He's looking, gonna let him play out. Caitlin fires the ball low, hopping to the middle, played by Federal Way. Federal Way with possession, knocks it forward again. No whistle in the mouth just yet. Federal Way working, Shewin wide. Shewin possession, nope, knocks it out of bounds.
Get wide to start there.
Nope, saved in, no out of bounds. Federal way working the ball, fires it across where it's handled easily on the near post by Caitlin. The referee's got his toot. He's going to toot this one dead. I think we're going to end in a 0-0 draw, and we do. All right, thanks for watching, folks. Peace out. Have a good day.